Katiyo.
Hi guys, Mangwanani, Maskarase, Makadini. We are, or I am, Mai Katiyo, and we are back with another cook and chat. And today we have a special guest, a lovely young lady here named Victory. Victory is Kenyan, and she'll be teaching us how to cook some goat curry and chapati. So yeah, this is Victory. Say hi to the people.
Hey! I'm Victory, as you have had. Yeah.
Victory is from which tribe?
Luya.
The Luya tribe
of Kenya.
Of Kenya. So if you're from there, say hi to your family member. We have her here with us, and she's going to be teaching us how to make some goat curry. So let's start off. What do we need to do first? We have our goat here.
Yes. So we have the goat.
We have our goat meat here, and Victory marinated it. What did you marinate it with?
I put some curry powder, so smoked curry powder, and then some salt, some vegeta, and also just a little bit of garlic, crushed garlic.
Okay, great. So first we're going to add it to the pot, and then we're going to do what?
And then we're just going to, first we're going to put it in the pot. We're going to let it brown in its own fat without adding any more oil.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it's browning, we're going to now start with the chapati.
Okay, so let's add it in. Okay, so apparently the chapati process is a very long process, and Victory likes to make it with love, so there's a little bit more work than what other people do. So we're gonna clear away some of the prepped stuff we have, clean our bench top, so that we can do what we need to do. Okay. Just gonna disinfect if it wants to spray. Victory already actually cleaned this in preparation for what we'll be doing today. So we're just going to go in with some disinfectant as well. Okay, so we have cleaned the bench top, washed our hands. What are we doing, chapati queen?
So these are like pre-made chapati balls, I'll say. But all I did was knead the flour with hot water and plain flour and salt. So first put the dry ingredients, mix them together, and then put the hot water. If you're not a bit sensitive with your hands, you just put warm water, that's fine, but not cold, because it will.
So you said one of your favorite things to do is to sing. For those of you who don't know, Victory is actually in our praise and worship. She's a very powerful worshipper in our church. Victory, can you tell us a bit about how you became a Christian?
Oh,
sorry, I think I stuffed this one up.
No, it's fine. It's okay. It will be rolled out. So Christianity, I would say I was more of born in it. Like, I didn't get to choose at first. Obviously, like most of us, you know, we didn't get to choose. You were born in a Christian family or something like that. So my dad was a pastor, and my mom just loved the Lord. And so did my grandparents and everything. So I felt like it was more of a, you know, pushed on religion. I was easily wavered at some point. I remember I had Muslim friends, and I even knew how to pray for food in like, you know, in Arabic, but you know, to Allah. You know, I knew how to pray to Allah. I knew, you know, the songs, the surahs, all of them. And all that. I was really curious. I used to do Eid with them because I couldn't fast for Ramadan. So I was like, Christianity is a bit also pushy. Then Muslim is pushy. So I was like, I'll just do my own thing, you know, as long as I'm living and everything. But I was forgetting, you know, who gives life and all that. So I would say I became a Christian by my own will in 2017 when I was 17 years old.
17 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty intense. I didn't know you went through all that, and you know at some point you were somewhat a practicing Muslim, Victory.
Yeah, pretty much.
You learned something new. So, wow. Can you tell us a bit more about what's going on right now? For those of you who want to follow at home, we are making chapatis. This is my first time making chapatis. I have made 2 thus far. One of them is this one. As you can see, compared to Victory's, we're still learning. Can you tell us your chapati process?
So for this chapati process, this one specifically, I'm just taking these ones. So these are the bowls, and then I am.
And what's in the bowls?
So this one has just flour and salt and hot water. Yeah, flour, salt, and hot water, and olive oil. So I just knead it together like the way you make scones dough.
Yeah.
And then I put oil afterwards and knead it together again until all the oil is disappeared, and then now I cut it into this. So I just use my hand and like mold it together. So now what we're doing, we're just flattening it from this with a rolling pin. Obviously you can use a bottle or wherever if you want to DIY, and then we're just making it flat, and then we're putting oil on it. So this is just normal olive oil, and we just put it on the surface of the chapati. And then can you stop being mad at me because I'm calling it chapati? It's chapati. I'm putting it on the chapati.
How is it? Sorry. Let's say it properly. What's the proper?
Chapati.
Chapati.
Yeah, chapati.
Instead of
what I was saying, chapati.
Oh, she was saying it the Aussie way.
Yeah.
She was saying chapati. We are making chapati.
Yes, chapati. And then now you just, it's like you're folding, but not really. Just making it round, not really round, but like a strip. And then now folding it onto your hand as you stretch just a little bit, just so that it doesn't break. And then this end bit, you tuck it in there, just like that, and that's it. So that's been the process of the spirals.
All right. That's Victory's chapati recipe. So the main reason why I brought Victory on the channel today was because I really wanted her to share with you guys her testimony about how she got into uni. It's to date an incredible testimony that I think should be shared with many young girls and other people out there, just in general, because of her faith and because of the way God provided for her. I think it's just an incredible testimony. Can you tell us a bit about how you got into this insert title degree that you're doing?
First of all, growing up, how I grew up, it was not very, wealthy-ish and everything. I grew up, most of my life I spent it in Kenya. So where I grew up, I didn't know about some glamorous jobs like engineering and architecture and all that. All I knew was doctoring and teaching, or being the people who do the conductors and the combi and matatus, those ones. Yes, so those are the type of jobs I knew. I didn't know about like architecture and all these other jobs that we do. Like, I really loved math, unlike some of us.
Wow, you're one of those. She said she loves math. Oh.
I liked math, especially the methods one. So I just knew I wanted to do something to do with math. So it took a lot of praying, because mom was like, so what do you want to do? And at school, but mom did not put pressure on me. She was like, whatever you want to do, I'll support it. Obviously, you know, if I wanted to do art, for example,
She would
be like,
to say.
yeah. So I had to go pray because people at school, when I was saying, oh, I want to do nursing, I want to do doctoring, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I hated sciences. I hated biology. I really hated it so much. I did not like it because it involves a lot of reading, so I knew I did not want something that wanted me to read a lot. So I started praying and I was like, God, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? And one time I'm going through like the courses and stuff, and during my sleep one time I was like, oh, engineering, and I was like, what's about engineering? And I'm going through the course plan and I was like, engineering has everything I want to do, like everything. And I remember during that time now, God used my mom to like also remind me of what I used to do as a kid, like, you know, dismantle radios and stuff and like fix them back together. And you know, we had a solar panel and I'll like connect the wires and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, so it is engineering now. I was like, now we've finished year 12 and it's time to go to uni. And yeah, I have engineering, I have electrical engineering, but the money to go to uni, there's no money. I am regarded as an international student for studying purposes. I'm still regarded as an international student, and the school fees is a lot, as in a lot. Yeah, you can't, one unit is the same as a domestic student's full fee.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so one unit is like the whole year, and for me that's one unit, and I'm supposed to take like 4 units every semester. So I'm there, I'm like, guys, what do I do? God, you said engineering, now what am I gonna do? So I just started operating by faith, and mom was helping me pray as well. She was like, don't lose faith, you just do whatever you have to do. So I started working a lot in 2019, so I took a gap year, which was forced on me because I did not want to take a gap year, but because I didn't have money, I had to take one. So I took a gap year, and some people even at church were telling me, oh, you know, why are you being like this? You know, you can just go to TAFE, maybe do nursing and stuff like that, like something to just get a certificate. But my spirit is telling me, don't waste money on other things.
Yeah.
You know, you'd rather keep it, maybe even for accommodation and stuff. Like, not like that per se, but you know, I was adamant I didn't want to do any other course. So I just kept it like that. And you know, sometimes you get called lazy, you don't want to study as an African lady, you know, they want you to finish, bam, 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 go get married, blah, blah, blah. My mom was cool with it, like she was cool with me just being, you know, working
yeah.
and until I get to my course, because we knew what we were praying for, and I knew what I was praying for. So later on, after 2019, mom is like, so I had applied for scholarships before, and then I got rejected with one, and then the other one gave me like a partial scholarship. So only like 3,800 a semester, and that's not enough. That's not even one unit. You know. So I was like, in my heart, I was like, no,
that's not it.
Yeah, it's not it. So I deferred. I refused it, and I was just like, I'm gonna wait. And I knew I was gonna go to uni. My faith was going low a bit at some time.
And what did you do when your faith was going low?
I had to, you know, the like literally stand on the promises of God. I didn't do what the Israelites did.
You didn't complain and want to go back to...
I did complain, but I remembered that, you know, even if I complain, like, what could I have done by myself?
Yeah.
You know, because if you complain, you have something to look back to. Like the Israelites had, you know, their pumpkins, their rotten pumpkins that they were being given by the Egyptians. Sometimes we just want things to go according to our will,
but it's not the will.
Yeah, it's not the will of God. So if it was not God's will for me to do engineering, then I wouldn't do engineering. If it was for me to go to Bible,
To what? To Bible?
I'll probably fight it a little bit. Then, but I was like, God's will be done. If I'm supposed to go to uni for engineering, then that's what will happen.
It will happen.
If it's not, then we'll just let it go. I just kept praying, and then towards the end of the year, Mom is like, oh, so scholarship intakes. I was already giving up. I was done. I was like, guys, we've done this again. We're gonna do it. But Mom was like, the deadline is coming. Can you just do the scholarship? So I just applied for the unis and the scholarships and everything. So I was just waiting. And then
Waiting on the Lord.
Waiting on the Lord.
A few people, we that season of waiting on the Lord.
Yeah, so it was a very, very challenging one because now Mom was like, so we need a plan B. But now when I was sleeping one time, I had visited Melbourne and everything. I never even thought about like going to school in Melbourne or anything, nothing at all. Nothing like Melbourne schooling. All I knew was if I go to uni, I'll just stay with my mom and keep going to uni.
Yeah.
But then one time I wasn't sleeping, but a thought came to me and it was just so loud and so vivid, like Monash school, and I was like, what does that have to do with me? Yeah. So I just ignored it, right, and just kept moving. So when I was even applying for the scholarships, I applied to Monash and other universities. But then Monash stuck with me. So even sometimes subconsciously when someone would ask me, so which uni are you going to? I'll subconsciously say Monash, and I'll be like, no, I mean QUT. So I'll be like, what's going on, And then so I just kept doing my job, everything, working to pay for my school fees. But as a plan B, because mommy said, let's do, another plan B. But I was adamant. I knew, no, I won't pay for school fees because it had already been put in my head that I want school fees. November has passed, December has passed. So now December is the time they take you for uni and they take you for scholarship. So me, I'm just getting emails, oh, congratulations, you've been invited to this uni. I'm like, guys, go to that uni with what money? So they're just like, oh, congratulations, you can get to this uni, this uni. I gave up. I didn't check my emails. I was like, halas, done. So one time mom is like, Victory, have you been checking your emails? I was like, yeah, mom, I even checked it yesterday. And then I was like, let me just check. I hadn't checked it, obviously. So I was like, let me just check. Then I find the email was sent like 2 days ago saying that congratulations, you've gotten a full scholarship to Monash University with this is your course, and you'll be doing the course without having to do a bridging one. So all I had to do was go to Monash College first and then go to Monash University, which is the same thing. So I was like, I screamed. Like, mom was like, oh, have you checked your email? So I checked my email and I screamed. And mom is like,
what happened?
Yeah. And before that, this uni also like allowed me to go to the university, but they wanted me to pay 1,800 like enrollment fee or something like that. But it was just a lot of money, ridiculous money. So I paid for it because mom said, let's just pay for it and then we'll get a way of going to the university. So this is QUT, the one I wanted to go to, the technological school. So I deposited the money, but in my heart I was like, God was really like, no, you made a mistake, but I had already deposited the money, forget about it. So then I get the scholarship and I'm like, and I'm just so happy.
Yeah.
So I start planning, and the scholarship comes, and it's coming full, and it has allowance, everything
above
like,
what you expected.
Yes, and even like when I land in Melbourne, they will take me to my destination free of charge.
VIP treatment. Hey.
Yes, I was so shocked. I was like, even my grades, if you looked at them, you're like, these guys were joking when they were looking at this, the categories. But no, I literally got the scholarship. And at first I thought that it was just for the diploma. So, I look at the scholarship again and I'm like, full scholarship. And I don't even care about the bachelor's. I just, I've gotten the scholarship. I go. and mom is so happy and everything. So yeah, I get the scholarship. I go to uni now. I start uni. Uni is hard. It's difficult. I want to quit. Mom is like, oh, but I will call mom, and I'm just like, I really thought it was going to be roses and honey and milk, and it's just rocks on rocks. I'm eating sand every day. And mom was just like, hold on. And she's like, so do you want to change the course? And I'm like, if I change the course, then what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I can't do nursing. I can't do, I can't do it. Like, it's just, it's annoying for me. It's just too feminine. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And my head is stuck on engineering. So it's just hard. I'm failing. I don't get it. And like every time the maths teacher would come in, I'm just looking at her like, again? We're gonna do calculus again?
Every day.
Every day. And that's because I had taken a gap year, so my brain was just blank.
Yeah.
Blank. And my high school was very rushed, so I was cramming everything. I wasn't really registering in my memory. So I was just cramming everything, and yeah. But I was very adamant that it was engineering from the word go. So even when people are saying, oh, do nursing, nothing, none of those was entering my head, guys. I'm sorry, but I never took your advice.
All right, so I told you guys, did I not tell you? When I was saying the testimony is intense, I'm going, how long did you speak for? It's a long but incredible testimony. There's so many elements that you can pick out of the testimony, but there's one element that I really love to discuss, especially for your other young girls, but not just young girls, everybody out there, in terms of faith during, that period when you're waiting on God. Your period of waiting on God was quite long, and it was a very interesting one. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are waiting on God for a lot of different things, whether it be a scholarship, a husband, a car, a baby, a lot of things. What advice can you give to those who are waiting on God based on what you learned?
Yeah, so sometimes when God says something, it's good to write it down. So when God said I'll go to uni, I wrote it down. Just so that time when I've forgotten, or that time when the devil, because the devil is very, very, very cunning. He will come and tell you, which uni? Your family has never gone to uni. Which is true, my family has never gone to uni. I was the first one to go to uni. So he will come and be like, you're not going anywhere, like just do nursing like other people. Why are you being so extra? And I'll be like, okay, then we'll just do nursing. But at that time I was fasting, I was praying, I was blocking all the noises. So one thing to do is block all the noises, which is what I learned from my mom. And my mom is someone who has had all the fighting, being done to her. Like when people said she couldn't do this, and now she's in Australia. Like she's had that rough life. So I learned it from her, and learned that I have to just be to shingirira, to hold on.
Hey, you can tell Victory hangs around Zimbabwe.
In Swahili, it's say kushikilia, to just hold on and stand on the promises of God, and read a lot of the Word of God, because stories like that of Job, and that of how Moses could not speak and God spoke for him. So such things, they just they were there. And even when I was looking at my report card, and I was like, I'm 10 marks away from engineering. Like with the best unis, I'm 10 marks away. With other small unis, yes, I was very, very, I looked like a smart kid. But with the unis that I wanted to go to, I was way far off with the course that I wanted to do. So it's just holding on, and just remembering the promises of God when He says He'll never leave you or forsake you. That His plans, are real. They're yes and amen.
The plans that He has for you.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you tell us what we're doing now with the chapati.
So this is now the final roll. So we're taking these spirals and we are rolling them a bit round. I would say
She said
round
a bit because some of us are
because
not.
some people are
We won't
struggling.
name names. Victories are not very round. They have some jagged edges.
Yeah, right. So we make them a bit round, no pressure.
All right, so we just finished rolling all our chapatis. What are we going to be doing now? So we left our meat because Victory said that apparently it needs to be, it'll take a quick time to cook and our chapatis would take the longest. So we're done. So now we can get rolling.
Now we can multitask.
We can multitask. So what are we going to do first?
First we're going to heat the pan for the chapatis, and then we are going to start with the meat. So we're going to just put onions and garlic together, and then capsicum, and then brown it, and then not really brown it, but just cook it together, and then put some tomato and some water and some curry powder. Yeah.
Or the pan that we are using, I don't know what it's called, but I use it for pancakes, but it's come in handy for chapatis. But this is the pan that we are using. So we are warming up that pan so we can start cooking our chapatis. Oh, so Victory's going to put one on. You flip it with?
My hands.
Okay. Victory is going to show us how to flip with our hands. So
don't try this at home. My mom doesn't do it. I mean, you can do it, but my mom has very soft hands.
Oh, okay.
And she says I was born with hands of steel.
Okay.
But when I put oil, I don't play all that. No, I'll use a spatula.
Okay. So, Victory, you're a pretty girl. I'm sure there's probably a few boys hitting you up on the DMs. Let us know how it's going in them DMs. Are they hot?
I have had a lot of God said, so...
Oh, you had God said!
I've already had.
Are you serious? I've never had any God said. Wow.
I've had a lot of God said. It's a bit of a tough one, sometimes when someone says God said and you're like, ah, yes, he said. But I didn't hear from God. God is one.
Yes.
So if he didn't tell me,
Exactly.
tell your God.
Didn't tell you, didn't show you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you said that you like to add them on top of each other.
Yeah,
so once
so
she
stack
flips
4.
one,
Yeah.
she said she'll stack 4. She'll add the other one on top, then flip it.
Yeah. And then now we're going to put the ghee.
Now we're going to put the ghee.
You see those bubbles? Those bubbles show you that it's done with the bottom. See?
So it doesn't take that long.
No. It doesn't. Once it's on the fire, it doesn't take long. But the prep is the one that takes long. So that's how I do it by hand, and then when I put oil, I won't do hand because it will be hot.
do it like Victory was doing with urgency.
Urgency. I'm sure the other one is folded. Now we need to eat the onion and garlic.
And what Victory actually did beforehand was the garlic was crushed. She used her rolling pin, but she said in a normal Kenyan home there would be a mortar and pestle. I don't know what you call it in Kenya. What would you call it?
Kinu namchi.
That. So you can grind the garlic. But we don't have a mortar and pestle here. We'll make sure we have all the equipment for next time.
Yeah.
And what's this? Half a red onion.
Was it half? Yeah, half. 3/4 sort of. Now we're just gonna brown, like make sure the onions are cooked until, you know, you can't really see it in the food sticking out. Like, yeah.
Done.
The tomatoes, they are looking at me.
And they're not meant to be looking at you. You didn't tell me to cook for so long. Okay, so we finished making our goat stew. We have our veggies and our chapati. Victory, can you show us how to properly plate the meal?
There is no proper way, but this is how I would plate.
Okay. Take some goat.
Roast me right now.
I like it. I like it. It's good. The chapati is really nice. The goat meat, it doesn't taste like I expected. It kind of tastes like beef, to be honest.
Right? I think because of, like, you know, it depends on the market.
So this is a good market?
I don't know. Like, goat meat tastes different sometimes. Yeah.
No, it's very nice. I enjoy it.
It's nice.
It's good. Thank you, Victory. I'm not gonna try the veggies because we know what veggies taste like. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. The goat stew is fantastic. You cook sort of in a similar way to how they cook in the village, kumusha, which is just allowing the natural flavors to come through, not adding too much external spices. So Victory was saying that they are usually in Kenya they don't use like roiko and things like that as much.
Yeah,
so
some families do that.
Some families do, but her meal didn't, which you can taste, you know, the tomatoes, the veggies, everything. It's very, very lovely. I can't wait to knuckle down this this big old pack of chapati with Victory and my husband. So we would just like to thank Victory for her time, her transparency on this channel. And yeah, Victory, do you have anything else you'd like to say to everybody watching?
One thing I'll say is stay strong. This is not just for young people, but even married and, you know, old people. I've seen how the faith has carried my mom through different phases of life and even myself. So being strong in the faith and just knowing what you want will take you far.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Beauty and brains. Thank you so much, Victory, and thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys in the next video. Obviously, of course, comments down below. Let us know what you think, if you're gonna try it out, your chapati recipe, all that. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.